Welcome to our mini lecture on working with the process dimension. This mini lecture is meant to be viewed prior to our 9th class together. The purpose of this lecture is to discuss how we use the therapeutic relationship to facilitate change. So a little recap on what we've been talking about the last 8 weeks, kind of big picture concepts here. We want to be building a working alliance with our clients and then working together to identify and change relational patterns. Of course, doing this while we're tracking what's going on in the therapeutic relationship. We almost never give advice, reassure, or focus on behavior or motives of others. Our clients will really want us to do this, but instead we want to be focusing the client inward, reflecting core affect messages, linking patterns, and maintaining balance in our therapeutic relationship. Focusing in a little more on those concepts, we want to clearly point out when and how client employs interpersonal coping strategy. And we want to discern when and with whom it's helpful. We want to help clients understand how they respond internally and why, and really validating that this is learned from their life experiences. We want to help the client explore why they become anxious, how they manage it, and that includes in the therapeutic relationship, and where they may be avoidant. So actually working through and working towards change. Some big picture goals here. We want to be listening to core messages about self and others that the client learned in childhood. We want to sustain the focus on providing responses that differ from and disconfirm the client's expectations. That's that corrective emotional experience. And this is done through, again, safe haven and secure base. We use process comments to realign, recalibrate, to bring past conflict into the present moment so that we can actually work on it together, of course, and then affirming the client's self-efficacy. So our in-session goals, we want to encourage the client to act independently in the therapeutic relationship. And we want to join with the client in exploring what comes up when they're more assertive or independent with us as therapists, and of course with others too. So we use a lot of process comments, and process comments can be really great for leading up to and for facilitating change. They can also, as we've been discussing, feel really unnatural, but they can deepen, strengthen, and really help us in uncovering things with the client. They can help restore and negotiate the therapeutic relationship, and they can help us respond to resistance. They can also really help us to bring things into the present moment. So it's that content versus process, helps in experiencing versus discussing. But ultimately, they help us bring focus and intensity to the conversation. They just really deepen things. So we often use process comments after sharing something, after the therapist shares something about themselves. So it feels important to just spend a moment on that. Self-disclosure versus use of self-involving statements. Two different things. Self-disclosure, therapist's own experience. Self-involving statement, thoughts or filtered reactions to what the client has just said. And this reveals information about what's happening in the therapeutic relationship or how something is affecting the therapist. This can help reveal relational patterns with others. So our goal, again, we want to be linking clients' issues and concerns with others to what's currently going on between therapist and client. We want this reenactment. It gives us an opportunity to show our client a new way. This is an in-the-moment experience and an opportunity to resolve and empower clients. And the book calls it a social learning lab. I love that idea. It gives us the opportunity to experiment and to see what could be. So process comments, the idea of process comments can bring up a lot of uncertainty and reluctance in therapists, particularly beginning therapists. It can be hard to know when to intervene. We might be fearful of offending the client. We may feel insecure, and there could be countertransference going on. We don't want to appear confrontational. We may feel inadequate. And there may be concerns about owning one's own personal power. And by that, that means a fear of being too important to the client. So how do we get around these concerns? Good supervision. Good supervision is so important. And when you trust your supervisor and you're able to talk about these things with your supervisor, it will all become much easier to navigate. So my closing thoughts today are simple. I just want to acknowledge that reenactments and ruptures will happen in session, that we actually want them to, because it gives us a new way it gives the client a new way of seeing things. So by sensitively, gently, carefully deconstructing what's gone on, we can provide this corrective emotional experience and change is possible. As always, let me know if I can clarify anything. I look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks for watching.